Hey, I'm Amber. Thank you so much for joining me today for some yoga. We're going to do a yoga slow flow. And if you're a beginner, that's quite all right. You can take your time, listen to your body, and if anything doesn't feel right, please modify or come out of that shape. Blocks or books could be very helpful, especially if you are tight in the hamstrings. If we're doing forward folds and things like that, the blocks can come in handy. And they also come in handy if you're a little bit wobbly in your balance. And of course, if you're a more advanced yogi, you know how to make the practice a little bit more powerful for you. So I invite you to incorporate whatever knowledge you have into your practice. And I'm just excited that you get to spend the next hour with me and my cat Fife. So please find yourself a comfortable position. I'm sitting up on a blanket. Sometimes that's helpful to allow the pelvis to tilt forward a little bit and it relaxes the legs. A block can even feel a little bit better, especially if you are super tight in the upper legs, because it can help relax the knees down towards the floor a little bit. And it can also feel real good to help you find a nice tall spine. So once you find that nice comfortable position, doesn't have to be cross-legged either. You can certainly rest with the soles of the feet down, maybe wrapping the arms around the legs like so, maybe soles of the feet together. You get to choose. And then once you choose that space and you find that long spine, let that tailbone dip down just a little, and then let the crown of the head reach towards the sky. Relax the shoulders, and then just take a couple of breaths. If you don't want to close your eyes, you can take your gaze to the floor. And just really kind of get excited for the fact that we get to relax and maybe get a little bit of exercise today, build a little bit of strength and stretching, and really get to pay attention to what is happening with us, with you. Maybe this is your only opportunity in the day that you get to sit down with yourself and really kind of collect your thoughts and let's bring our focused attention to the crown of the head, very tip top of the head. All of our focus goes into that one little space. Little pinprick at the top of the head. And then let the focus move to the space between the eyes. And so we want a relaxed facial expression. So if you feel like you're furrowing the brows or you're squinting the eyes, see if you can relax. And a great way to do that is to lift the eyebrows up like you just had the most amazing revelation ever. Stretch out that space between the eyes and then softly just let it come right back down to a nice relaxed space. Feels so good with no tension. And then bring your thoughts to your eyes and letting all the little creases and wrinkles on the side of the eyes relax and release. Let the eyes soften in the sockets. Moving to the temples right on the outer side of the skull. And maybe you could imagine someone gently rubbing the temples. That feels so good. And just releasing any tension. And then bring your attention to your ears and see if you can focus on any sounds that are outside of the space that you are in. So maybe it's windy out, maybe it's raining, maybe You can hear cars, birds, or the neighbors chatting. Usually if you're at my house, you can hear the neighbor yelling to get his dog in the house. And whatever it is, you don't even have to name the sounds. Just be aware that they are there. And notice that they are different if you have more than one. And then let's bring the hearing into our room or house or wherever we are, and notice if there are any sounds around you that are closer. Whatever they are, hear them as a whole first. And then maybe start to notice, without really naming, but noticing if there are separate sounds. And now we're going to draw that attention into ourselves with the breath. Let's bring the focus to the tip of the nose. And for a moment, just kind of see and feel the temperature at the tip of the nose. You can feel the temperature of the breath as it moves into the nostrils. It might be a little cooler, it might be a little warmer as you exhale. You might feel a little tickle on the upper lip. Not always the best sign for us ladies, but at least we know we're breathing. And then we start to focus a little bit more on the breath. So maybe you notice the sound of the breath. If you know it, you can incorporate a very soft ujjayi breath in the back of the throat. And then maybe we notice the path of the breath. So we breathe in through the nostrils. Does your chest rise or does the belly rise? Maybe they both do. Maybe you can get a full deep breath in. Good. Now, as you still concentrate on the breath, while you're doing that, see if you can kind of take note in the rest of the body and notice if anything is talking to you. Your back, your legs, your arms, maybe your neck. And see if you can breathe into that space. Send that breath there and relax. Sometimes I like to cue if you have a knot in the back or the neck, literally imagining a knot. And then as you exhale, imagining that knot coming apart and loosening and relaxing. And maybe the visualization, it works for some, not for everybody. But it doesn't hurt to give it a little try. So let's take 3 deep breaths together. And I apologize for the heaviness of my breath, but we'll all be doing it together, and it's okay. I'm just glad I'm breathing. So let's take a regular breath. Inhale, exhale. And then on your next inhale, you're going to begin at the base of the belly. Breathing in, full breath. Draw it up past the diaphragm into the chest. Maybe we extend a little higher in the back, in the spine. And then I want you to pause, please, at the top. And part the lips. Release. Pull that belly button towards the spine. Let's try it again, a little smoother this time. Big inhale beginning in the belly. Past the diaphragm. Into the chest. Breathe in as much as you can and then pause at the top. We're not really holding the breath, we're just pausing. Like somebody literally has pressed the pause button. And then open the mouth slightly. Release. One more time. Breathe it in. The biggest breath you've had all day or night. Pause. So good. Let's bring the palms of the hands together in Anjali Mudra. So thumbs are towards the chest, fingertips pointing towards the chin, and if it feels okay on the wrists and the forearms, let the elbows move out to the sides. So we get a little stretch through the wrists and the forearms too. Make sure you relax those shoulders, long through the spine. And then as we are here for a few moments, please set an intention for yourself today and let it be kind and nourishing and something that feels good to you in your heart. Maybe no more negative talk today, at least while you're on the mat. No worries about how you look. Maybe focus on how you feel. Or maybe you'd like to dedicate your practice today. There are so many people out there that need a little yoga love, and they just can't find it. Dedicating your practice is just a beautiful act of thoughtfulness. As always, though, it's up to you, whatever comes to mind, whatever feels good and nice and right. And taking a pause before we move forward, I would like to read a quote to you from H. Jackson Brown Jr. In the confrontation between the stream and the rock, the stream always wins, not through strength, but by perseverance. Let's take a deep inhale, and we're going to draw the fingertips above the head, palms stay together, reaching through the side body, finding this little stretch here, and then as we exhale, we're going to float the palms back to the chest. Palms still stay together. Let's do that again. Big inhale, fingertips to the sky. Maybe you follow the fingertips with the nose, lifting the chin. And exhale, draw it back down. Again, inhale up. And this time as we exhale, we're just going to tilt to the right. Release the breath. Engage the belly softly on the inhale as you come back to center, and exhale to the left. Full breath release. Engage the belly on the inhale, draw yourself to center. Exhale to your right, finding a nice little side body stretch here, as big or as little as you like. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. One more set, please. Bring it back to center. Exhale to your right. Inhale back to center. Last time, exhale to your left. And back to center. Big inhale, stretch through the front of the body, lift the arms up. And exhale, release the palms, bring the arms into cactus or goalpost arms, so elbows directly out from your shoulders. We're relaxing those shoulders down. You can bring the fingertips out, spread them nice and wide, make a little fist, and then open them again. Wiggle the fingers around. Good. So we're going to work in the upper back for just a few moments here. So taking a nice deep inhale. And we're going to exhale and just twist to the right, upper body only. Release all the breath. Engage the breath. Come back to center. Use your core to move you. Exhale to the left. Instead of using the arms to just kind of swing you from side to side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Last time to the left. You got this. Inhale back to center. Exhale, pause here. Take a big breath in. Open up through the collarbones by pulling the elbows back. And then exhale. We're going to draw forearms and elbows towards one another. They don't have to touch. And if it feels good, drop chin towards chest. Inhale, open back up, widening through the collarbones, elbows back. Exhale, move forward, bring those not shins, forearms and elbows towards one another, tucking down. And one more time, big inhale, open up. You got it. Exhale. Inhale, arms come out again. And then as you exhale, we're going to take the palms almost like we're like stop. Universal stop sign. And we're going to press the arms out and widen through the fingers. Should feel really active in the arms. And we're going to turn the fingertips forward and down, rotating through the arms. Oh yeah. And then we're going to inhale, fingertips to the ceiling and all the way back. Release the breath. Fingertips may point down towards the floor. And then inhale, draw them back up and around. Exhale as they point towards the floor. Inhale, fingertips up. One last time, rotate them all the way back. And then bring them all the way forward one more time. And then go ahead and just relax them down to the floor. And start some shoulder rolls. So inhaling, shoulders forward. Exhale. Shoulders back. Shoulders forward. Bring it on an inhale. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And exhale, release them back. Let's go ahead and switch directions, please. So inhaling up the back, and maybe you squeeze those shoulder blades together. Make these circles really big if it feels good. Exhaling on the way down. Inhaling again, back and forward. One more time, back and forward. You got it. Whew. Let's go ahead and stretch our legs out in front of us. Give those knees a little break. Point and flex the toes. Ooh, a lot of cracking. Good. Let's bring the soles of the feet together here for just a moment. Palms or hands wrap around your ankles. Soles of the feet rest softly together. Find a nice tall spine, and as best as you can, relax those knees down. And we're going to kind of rotate the pelvis forward and follow with the chest just a little bit. So we're not rounding, But we're maintaining a nice tall spine and maybe even a little curve in the spine as we come forward. Relaxing the legs. Elbows might come all the way back to the thighs, just kind of depends on what's comfortable for you. And then take the chin towards the ceiling and find a little stretch here. And then go ahead and release, bring everything back. Good. So let's find our tabletop position. So hands and knees. And I'm going to ask that you bring your blocks to the front of the mat, if they're not already, just in a space where we can grab them if we need them. And so I am going to pad my knees and my wrists. My wrists tend to get a little tired. So with a blanket under my knees, and then for the wrists are going to rest on top of the blanket, fingertips are going to rest on the mat. And we want to find a nice kind of domed upper shoulder so we're not dumping. And kind of the same thing with the low back, except we don't want to round. We're not trying to find cat, but we definitely want to let the tailbone relax down a little bit. And we want to engage through the belly, and we're pressing up through the arms. So we're strong. Elbow pits are pointed forward. We're stacked. Our bones are stacked. And then when you're ready, we're going to move into a spinal balance. So go ahead and reach back with your right leg. And we want to keep our hips kind of straight across from one another. Like if you wanted to, I don't know why you do this, but if you wanted to put a glass of water across your hips, it would stay. Kind of a nice point of reference is the toes will point down if the hips are even. If the toes are rolled out towards the side a little bit, your hips are going to be kind of stacked on each other. So you can kind of work on that. And then check into the hands, making sure that you feel steady, and then reach forward with the left hand. Now, of course, these are optional. If you want to just do the hand or the leg, you can totally do that. Hugging into that belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take an inhale. High five. Exhale, hand back to meet the foot. You don't have to grab it, we're just tapping. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale. He lets me know whenever he's doing anything. Inhale, stretch it forward. Exhale. This time, if it is in your practice, grab that foot. You can grab it on the outside or the inside. If this is not in your practice, you can just simply reach back or come back to your spinal balance. Whatever feels good in your practice. This is going to offer up a little bit of a quad stretch and maybe even a deeper shoulder stretch in the left shoulder. And we're just going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently relax so we don't slingshot. Draw the hand and the knee back down to the floor, and we're going to thread the needle on the right side to relax this right shoulder a little bit. So when you're ready, take a big inhale, right hand to the ceiling, and exhale. The right hand's going to come in between the forearm and the knee of the left arm, and you're just going to relax the head down. Now, noting here, if you feel any crankiness in your neck, take a block or a book or a blanket and just prop the head up a little bit. And the same goes if you feel any weirdness in the shoulder. And you can even walk your knees up a little bit if you want more of a child's pose kind of experience here. And just rest. Close the eyes for a couple of breaths. One more breath, and you can deepen it, finding the back of the rib cage. And then relax. Bring the left palm to the floor in front of your nose and push yourself up. Move the block out of the way if you're using one. And then go ahead and make your way back into tabletop position. And then we're going to work the other side. So setting up your foundation, strong through the arms, strong in the belly, reaching out left leg back. Remember, toes down so we can stack our hips. You got it. Reaching forward with the right hand this time. For 5, 4, stretch, 2, and 1. Take a nice deep inhale, and on your exhale, float that hand back to reach the foot. And then inhale, bring it back forward. Bring it on back. Inhale. And reach it out. One more time. This time, you're going to grab that foot if it's in your practice. If not, come back to that spinal balance. Or somewhere in between. Very good. Go ahead and relax. Release. You got it. So still coming into our tabletop position. We're going to take a nice deep inhale and gently drop the chest. Let the gaze come forward. And as you exhale, we're going to drop chin to chest. Tailbone is going to roll down. And we're going to kind of come into a child's pose, dropping the elbows to the floor. Let the forehead move to the floor if you can. And then inhale, you're going to press into the palms and kind of draw the palms towards your knees. Really activate through those arms like you're trying to drag yourself up the mat. And then exhale, chin to chest, round that tailbone, and elbows to the floor. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale. Chin to chest, tailbone rolls down, elbows to the floor. Bring it up. Big inhale. And exhale, release it down. Good. Pause here. Then we're going to take our arms all the way over to the right. If you can, energetically shoot that left hip towards the floor a little bit. Stretching through the left fingertips, getting a nice, decent stretch on the left side. Then we're going to make our way back to center and take a full breath here. Big inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and wander to the left. Let that right hip energetically press to the floor as you reach forward with the right fingertips. And then make your way back to center. And I would love for you to rest here and find a very comfortable child's pose for you. You may like your thighs zipped up together as you rest back. You may like your big toes together and the knees open wide as you rest down onto the mat. Let your forehead come down to the floor. Take a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, begin to slowly guide yourself up back into your tabletop position. And then I'm going to remove my blanket. And I'm going to set my blocks a little bit off to the side here. And we're going to make our way into downward facing dog. So spread those fingertips out nice and wide. I love downward facing dog because there's so many things that you can feel as you move into it. So please take your time. If you're already up, that's okay, but if you're not, press into the fingertips. Make sure the elbow pits are moving forward, stack through the arms, and then press the hips back and start to lift the hips up. And then find that external rotation in the shoulders. We want to be strong through the arms. Go ahead and walk your dog for a few moments here. Taking time to say hello to your toes. Good. And we're going to walk all the way to the front of the mat and find a forward fold. Very good. Connect the feet to the mat, press all the toes in, rock a little bit into the heels, relax the shoulders, and then drop the bottom down just a little. Take a nice deep breath and bring yourself up. Fingertips to the ceiling, exhale, float down. Let's do that again. Big inhale up. Exhale, float it down. One more time. Really send the energy into the feet. Connect with the legs all the way up. And exhale, float the hands down. Find your flat back. Inhale. Exhale, release. Fingers to the mat. Bring that right foot back. Pressing into the front foot, making a solid foundation, knee above your ankle. Pressing into that back heel. Let's take a big inhale, draw yourself up. Relax the shoulders. So we are doing a slow flow, but we're going to take our time in these each shape. So in this one, high lunge, maybe you bend that back knee forward just a little bit. Really get into the back of the sole of the foot. Feels so good. And then press back through that heel. Take a big inhale. And exhale, float it down. Hands to the floor. Release the left leg back behind you. We're going to come into plank. Now don't freak out. We're going to do a few planks, but you can choose. You can drop down to your knee if you like. Knees. Or you can stay in your full plank, hugging in through the midline, pressing strongly from the palms of the hands, sending that energy into the shoulders. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees down, roll the belly to the belly. Roll down to the belly. Palms of the hands at your side by the chest. Pressing lightly into the pubic bone, tops of the feet connect to the mat. Take an inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, hugging shoulder blades to spine, elbows to the waist, soft belly. Exhale. This time, bring it up a little higher if it feels good. And exhale. Turn the toes under, press into the palms, maybe coming into tabletop first, and then move into your downward facing dog. Walk the dog a little bit. Enjoy a little stretch through the calf muscles. Anchor down that left foot. Inhale, right foot high. Three-legged dog, and exhale, bring that right foot forward. Set yourself up for greatness in your lunge. Pressing into all toes in the heel, pressing into the back heel, activating the legs and the belly. Big inhale, draw yourself up. Exhale, shoulders relax. Strong. Again, maybe we drop that back knee in, get a little stretch through the backs of the foot. The back of the foot. Having an issue with plurals today. Go ahead and relax that back heel down. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, float the hands down to the mat. And we're going to draw that left foot forward. Very good. We're going to find our forward fold. Take a deep inhale. Draw yourself up, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, float it down. Flat back. Big inhale. Stretch from the crown of the head through the hips. Exhale, float it down. Fingertips to the floor. Right foot behind us. Get yourself set up comfortably before you make your way up. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Maybe this time you dip down a little farther. Maybe you straighten the legs up a little bit. Just find something a little different. And then take an inhale when you're ready and float the hands down. Left foot comes back. Let's find our plank. To the knees or not. It is your choice. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll it on down, keeping those palms by the chest. Press into the pubic bone. Connect the tops of the feet. Inhale, soften the belly. Gaze is forward. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Last time. Bring it up a little higher if it pleases you. And relax and release. One more cycle. Drawing yourself into your downward facing dog. Maybe you take a little stretch in child's pose first. And then make your way up nice and slow. Walking the dog. Notice if there's anything new, any stretches that you hadn't noticed before. And then anchoring down that left foot. Big inhale, right foot high. Exhale, right foot comes forward. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, shoulders relax. This time, let's take a big inhale and open through the chest. And exhale, float it down. Left foot forward, good. Find your forward fold, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Bending the knees down. Let's take a big inhale. Bring the fingertips to the sky. And exhale, release it down. Grab your blocks if you have them. Stack them up. We're going to come into our Warrior 3 shape for our balancing posture today. So, lengthen through the spine. Let those sits bones kind of shift to the back corner of the room. So you're going to roll your thighs in and you'll feel your big toe kind of push into the floor a little bit more. And then we're going to take our weight into our right leg. And we're just going to bring the left foot back. And maybe the toes stay on the floor. Maybe you lift the leg. Maybe you reach forward with the right hand. Couple more options for you here. Palms at heart space. And you find this really beautiful flying position. Or if it's in your practice, find half moon. Woo! This is one of my favorite shapes. Feels so good. It took me so long to get this, so if you're not there yet, have no fear. But challenge yourself in our balancing poses. 2 more breaths. See if you can really center yourself. Really put the energy into the base of the standing leg. And then on your next exhale, we're going to float it back down. Nice and slow. Very good. Go ahead and find a little movement in the hips. Little free movement here. Feeling good. And then let's make our way to the opposite side. So again, lengthening through the spine here, dropping into the left foot. Bring that right foot behind you, toes to the floor perhaps. Maybe you lift the leg up. Maybe the left arm reaches forward and we find spinal balance. Or palms together, balancing on one leg. Or half moon. Or you can try every single option, you know. This is your practice. You get to do what feels good to you. What feels right. Hugging in that core, especially if you're doing half moon. But all the other ones, you know, core is very, very essential and important to finding your balancing postures. So let's do 2 more breaths. I know you've got it in you. And on that second exhale, float everything back down. Meet me in forward fold. Yeah. Bending the knees generously. Let's bend the knees and drop our chest towards the legs, towards the thighs, so they kind of rest. So you come into this little domey position. Head relaxes down. Nice little stretch in the low back. And then go ahead and bring the hands to the ground, bend the knees. Yeah. And then we're going to rotate and come all the way down to our backs. And we're going to grab a block if you have one. Rest on your back and hug those knees in and just find a gentle sway from side to side. Hallelujah. All right, so we're going to take that sway and we're going to roll ourselves all the way to the left, keeping the knees in towards the chest, little fetal position here. So if you find a little intensity in the low back, you can take a block and stack the knees. You can even put the block underneath the low knee if you want to. You can kind of play around with it and see what feels best to you. And then once you get your legs all settled, you can open up through the right arm and take the left shoulder blade and kind of shift it a little farther over to the left and see if you can discover a deeper stretch through your upper spine. And then we're just going to take a few breaths here. So I invite you to really spot anything that feels tense and see if you can send your breath there and relax it. Close the eyes if that feels good. few more breaths here. And then to get up, we're going to take our right hand and we're going to place it on the, we're going to take our left hand, place it on the floor, palms down. We're going to engage the belly. And as you roll up, you're going to press into that left palm and use it for some stability. Come back to center. You can keep the block in between the legs if you have it there. And just gently roll from side to side. And then go ahead and shift over to the right. Arm over with you first as you get situated. Get your legs all set up and then open up to the left and shift that right shoulder blade just a little bit more over to the right. And again, notice in the body any spaces that need a little bit of attention. Take a few more resting breaths here. And then placing the right palm on the floor, engaging the belly, draw yourself back to center. Release the block if you still have it. And take a happy baby for a moment. And just find a gentle rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, rest the soles of the feet on the floor and then extend the legs all the way out. And maybe you place a hand on the belly and a hand on the chest. Let the toes fall to the side and just do a quick scan of the body, making sure that nothing is holding any tension. And with each exhale, you release towards the floor. And you really take a moment and maybe think about your intention that you set earlier in the practice. And maybe it's meant to come with you as you step off your mat today, or maybe it is just meant for the mat. And you let your breath soften. And release any tension. slowly begin to deepen your breath. Find a little movement in the fingers and the toes. If you'd like, you can roll to one side and take a couple of breaths. And then please make your way into a seated position. Bringing the hands to heart space, Anjali Mudra. And finding gratitude for the opportunity to have this time for yourself on the mat. I'm so grateful that you chose this practice to lead you into your day or maybe night. Wherever you are, I hope that you are finding peace. Namaste. Namaste, Jolly.